Welcome back to Behind the Bench. We get set to talk about the coming weekend against the Bemidji State Beavers and recap the weekend that was in Lake Superior State University up in Sault Ste Marie. We welcome Jesse Jenks to the show. How you doing, bud?
Good, thanks. Happy to be here.
Hey, good to hear it. So last week you get both starts on the road. Didn't quite get the result we wanted on the first night, but you get tested the second night, stand tall, get the win. Talk about the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good weekend for us. It was a lot of adversity Friday with a lot of penalties, a lot of just calls not going our way, but I thought we stuck through it pretty good, and then we showed a lot of character for Saturday to come back and have a good win there. So it was a good process for us. We've talked a lot about that with not just getting too set on one game at a time, but building throughout the whole year to finally peak at the end there.
So the officials certainly calling the game a lot tighter so far at the beginning of the season. I think there was some initiative from the league and from the NCAA as a whole to try to crack down on some interesting officiating calls, you want to call it that way, but has that disrupted the game plan at all for you guys?
I mean, not really. We can't deal with what they do. They have their own agenda and they have to call the game that they're told to call. So I mean, for us, we just have to try and stick to the rules. There's been a lot of penalties, and I think the whole league is kind of seeing that it might be too many, but for now we just got to try and keep our sticks down and keep everything to the rules.
Because everyone's always talking about the scoring and trying to increase scoring and chances, and when you play 30 minutes or so, 5-on-4, 4-on-3, or some mix of that, it certainly tries to increase some of the excitement in the college hockey. But it does change the game quite a bit. But from your perspective, 26 games now between the pipes. You've seen the Nanooks evolve from last year. You lose some scoring with guys like Tyler Morley no longer being here and graduating. Talk about, from your perspective, from obviously you get quite a view all the way down the ice. Talk about the evolution of the team from last year to this year.
Yeah, I mean, we did lose some guys with Ty being gone, Hadukovic being gone. Those are some big scorers that we had last year that really helped us out. But I think a lot of the freshmen coming in this year have done a really great job. I mean, Height's been on a bit of a roll here. So the scoring hasn't been lacking at all, to say the least. We got guys like Height, we got Leader. Klein, everybody's doing their part. Guys like Staley, who's a sophomore this year, has been putting up a lot of points. So people are filling in and showing what they can do. And I mean, the seniors from this year are doing the same thing. Bass is putting up points, which is exactly what we need from those guys.
Well, it's not just on the offensive side either. I mean, the defense as well have gotten some pretty good boosts from guys like Danny Corrali and Tristan Thompson coming and helping you out.
Yeah. I mean, those guys have been great for us. All the freshmen have been key to all the wins we have, and even the losses that we have. They've been playing really good, and so I mean, it's putting a lot of pressure on everybody to succeed and to try and perform at their highest, which is always what we need.
So video, of course, is always a key strategy for you guys coming into the weekend. So you've seen Bemidji State. They're doing some pretty good things, and obviously they come across a win against your very large in-state rivals against EA last week. Michael Bitzer, I think 13 shutouts now in his career. So you got your opposition there too. What are you guys looking at against the Beavers coming up?
We just got to play our game. I mean, it doesn't matter what team we play each week. We got to come in with the same mindset and just work hard. We're going to be a hard-working team, skates fast, and tries to get pucks to the net. And I think with that team being so good defensively, and they have a lot of seniors and juniors this year, that's all we have to do. We try to work hard over there and try and get a couple of points out of them.
All right. Well, thanks for sitting here with us, Jesse. Appreciate it. The Nanooks again take on Bemidji State here at the Carlson Center for Hometown Heroes Weekend. Both games will start at 7:07 at the Carlson Center. Good luck this weekend, Jesse.
Thank you very much.
Go Nooks.
Come and celebrate Hometown Heroes Week as your Alaska Nanooks hockey team takes on Bemidji State in the Carlson Center. Friday, November 4th at 7 p.m. sponsored by La Quinta Inn and Suites, and again on Saturday, November 5th at 7 p.m. sponsored by North Haven Communities for Military Appreciation Night. All active or retired military and their dependents will receive free general admission for both games with a valid military ID. Come experience a family-friendly atmosphere while watching your NCAA Division I hockey team this Friday and Saturday at the Carlson Center. Get your tickets today at the Patty Center box office or online at AlaskaNanooks.com.
All right, welcome back to Behind the Bench. We get set to kick off the Hometown Heroes Weekend against Bemidji State right back here at the Carlson Center, as we get set to talk to Coach Lance West. How we doing, bud?
Good, man. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. Well, first long road trip of the year up to Sault Ste Marie, Lake Superior State. You get a split on the road, obviously a tough place to play. Talk about the weekend.
Yeah, I didn't go on the trip, but I like to follow it, and it's probably a nervous time for me because I'm at a game recruiting most of the time when you're not on the trip, and I spend as much time watching the game as I do my phone, checking the scores and seeing what's going on. So it's crazy how intense I get just watching the phone and see how we're doing. But the first road trip is always an exciting one. I think for the guys, they're excited to actually get out of town, to go be able to spend some time together on a plane and a bus and hotel room and get on the road and have a little special time together. And Lake State's obviously a long trip, but I mean, that's our league. Travel is just part of what we do, and you know, you don't really talk about it or complain about it because it's what we're going to have to do every other week. You know, but Lake State's been playing extremely well. They've been scoring a ton of goals. You know, they were undefeated. It seems like everybody we play has had a pretty good start, and you know, they're no exception. And I think our guys did a great job. You know, they didn't, you know, 4 goals, 3 goals, whatever it was down there, and you know, cut it almost in half to what they were doing. And we had to do that. And Jesse played extremely well. And you know, again, the PK's been pretty strong. You know, Margie in the group, and everyone's been doing a good job. So, you know, I think it's getting a split on the road anytime is really what you're looking for, and anything over that's a bonus.
So the senior assistant coach has the rookie go on the road for the longest road trip
Well,
of the year?
no, it's not the longest one. Holton's probably the longest one. That's the toughest one. But no, I just kind of wanted to go recruiting, and I haven't done the Lake State trip in a few years. Let's just put it that way.
Well, you know, like you said, it's certainly never a bad thing to get to earn some points on the road. It's hard to do in this league for sure.
Yeah.
So Bemidji State this weekend, you know, they're, like you said, they got a hot start. Last weekend they swept UAA, a team you're very familiar with, at home down in Bemidji. So they're coming up here on their first long road trip of the year. Obviously pretty hot. Michael Bitzer between the net, I think 13 shutouts if I'm not mistaken. So you've seen a guy with that kind of experience and that kind of statistics. Certainly put an asterisk or so on your game preparation sheets for the weekend.
Yeah, you know, I've known Coach Territory for a lot of years. My days when I started, he's always treated me well and been a first-class guy. His teams are always really good defensively. I mean, you just don't get a lot of easy goals against their team, and for some reason too, and to their credit, their goaltenders have always been good. You know, Climbing, all the guys who've ever seen to play have been done really well, and Bitcher's no exception to that. You know, I mean, he had a great junior career too, and he actually played with Zach Fry for a while, so Zach knows him, and we know how talented he is. But you know, I think any goaltender, it's good. You got to make him uncomfortable. You got to do something. You got to get to the paint. You got to get to the area. You can't make it easy on him because he's good. But even good goalies can be beat. And our approach is to go put some pressure on him and see what we can do.
So certainly, I think a lot's been said about the youth of the team. You got 12 freshmen on the roster this year, a lot of returning sophomores, so a pretty heavily underclassmen team. But certainly, guys with some are stepping up quite a bit early this season. Ross Height's putting up some serious points early on. Chad Staley looking really good in his second year, has already beaten his total from last year, just 8 games into the season. The development of these guys coming forward has got to be a real positive note for you as a coach.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of the times too, you have to look at it, you know, when you're the last 2 years and you've had Kunik and Tyler back, and you know, some of these guys, you know, the young guys coming in didn't have to play a lot of minutes. They didn't have to step into key roles. They didn't really get as many opportunities to put up the numbers. And sometimes that can be skewed a little bit. You know, you have some freshmen that don't put up the big numbers and you're not sure where they're at. But, you know, I've recruited them and we've all recruited them and we know what they're capable of. And sometimes it's just about when they have to step into that opportunity, do they take advantage of it? And Chad's one of the guys that's taking advantage of that opportunity. You know, and then obviously all the freshmen, there's some guys playing in some key spots in more minutes than you usually see freshmen in. And when you have that, you usually go in expecting a little bit of inconsistency. But, you know, some of those guys have played some really strong games. Thanks there, bud. You know, the internet.
Equipment manager there, Kevin Duffy, giving a little camera photo.
He puts a lot of hours in. I mean, he's been here all day, and I mean, he's still here at what, 8:30 tonight?
Yeah.
That's this morning. So those guys do a lot of work. I don't think people realize how much work they do. But getting back to you know, the freshmen, they're all put in situations. We've got them all in. They've all had opportunities, and you know, some of the guys have really stepped up and done a good job, from Ross and Danny Crowley and Tristan Thompson and you know all sorts of guys. So even the young guys, Ledouce and some of the guys that have been in and out of the lineup have done a good job and show us they have the ability to play at this level. So you know, we're excited about the group, but again, you know, there's a long ways to go. And I think the one thing I've told them, at least the forward groups when we're talking to them, is you can be young, you can be inexperienced, but you still work hard. You don't get outworked. You don't stop working. And if those guys do that, their talent will come out and they'll have good nights.
So certainly one of the key things that looks, you know, a lot of people look at from the statistics point of view, certainly one thing that's been on the stat sheet a couple of times has been some shorthanded goals against. Power play unit and special teams certainly an important part of the game, but obviously it's still early in the season. From the special teams unit, though, what are you looking to develop going forward?
Well, I mean, you know, I guess we'll talk on the power play side, and I wasn't there. You know, Dallas pretty well runs the power play, and we all get involved in it. I think, again, you have new guys, you have new situations, and to be honest, some of the shorties have just been, it's just the hockey. I mean, I remember 2 weeks ago, Nicholas is coming up middle of the ice, and he goes to pass a puck, and the stick breaks. I mean, that stuff happens. You can't control that. You know, but they have to control and they have to execute a little bit better on the entries. I think the number one thing we're probably looking for is our entries into the zone, and what Dallas refers to as finishing our routes and being a little bit sharper on our entries, getting to our spots a little bit quicker. and finishing our route, so we're there. And what's happened a few times, guys have kind of stopped and haven't finished to where they need to go, and then all of a sudden the puck's going the other way and we give up a shorty. So, you know, and it's just, you just keep teaching, keep reinforcing, and these young guys will pick it up. And it is a concern, but it hasn't been something that you're just beating up yet, because some of it's been just a little bit of bounces and some of it's been our execution. We'll just keep working on our execution.
Hockey is a game of balances, that's for sure. And you look at the first week of the first conference home series against Minnesota State, you had their first loss in game 2. Now you're making the transition back to the Carlson Center. You have the NHL size rink over the Patty. Does the Olympic ice give you guys an advantage from your point of view?
We like to think it does. I mean, our guys should be a little bit more used to it. I think the thing with our league is there's a lot of fast teams. Mankato can really get around the rink. Bemidji is going to be extremely quick too with some of their guys. They're going to get around the rink, and knowing how to play the angles and leaving the guys on the outside and take advantage of the big ice sometimes is an advantage. But I don't think it's significant where teams can't come in here and compete against us. There's 4, I think, Olympic sheets, or 3 in our league. So they see it a little bit more than just once a year. Some of the guys get to practice on Olympic sheets before they come. So there is a slight advantage, but we don't put a lot into that.
Well, certainly a lot of things going on this weekend here at the Carlson Center. It's Hometown Heroes weekend, so Saturday night. Military getting free with their dependents. Obviously a great thing with the Air Force and Army game happening here on Saturday. The Air Force team's actually over on the ice plant practicing right now, so that should be a great weekend, Coach. And anything else you want to add before we get things going?
No, I mean, I just invite everyone out to the games and also to attend that Air Force Army game. Those are the guys that sacrifice and do a lot for us, and I'm telling you, they take this game seriously. They're competitive guys, and obviously they're intense people and do a lot, and they have a lot of fun with the game. So it's been a good turnout the last few years. We hope everyone comes out and supports them and us again this weekend.
Yeah, that game on Saturday, the Air Force Army game, 1:30. Get here early though. It's a free admission, but every seat in the house is going to be fought for. That's always a packed barn for that. So hopefully we can kind of keep them around and have them come support the Nooks for a late game.
All right.
So thanks a lot, Lance. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Take care and go Nooks.
Yep. All right.
All right.
Don't know if I'm supposed to look at the camera or back over there.
It's a